everyone, welcome back to Natalie's Witchy Wisdom, the Purple Broom Apothecary. Today I am coming to show you just a brief video. It's kind of like a haul video. Over the 4th of July weekend, my husband and I took a trip to Caddo Lake, Texas, which, for those of you that are not familiar with Texas, Caddo Lake is the only natural lake in Texas. All other lakes in Texas were created by man. Caddo Lake is one of the few natural lakes, and it is absolutely stunning. If I have a chance this weekend, I'll try to take some of the photos that I took, and I'll compile those and put them into the video, maybe with some music or something, because you have to see it to believe it. It's absolutely stunning. There are huge cypress trees growing up out of the water. There are alligators. There was one spotted underneath a boat dock right where some people had their house and they had a boat and people were out swimming, and we took a Captain Ron's swamp tour, and he spotted one underneath the person's boat ramp, and I tried to get a picture of it. I don't know if I actually got a picture of it or not, but I'm gonna try to go through it and see if I can find it. If I can, I'll try to point him out, because apparently he just kind of got a glimpse of it. But we didn't see any others. However, we saw the great blue heron, cranes, all kinds of beautiful wildlife, huge grasshopper. We're talking, it was this big, people. It was at least 2 to 3 inches long, and it was black and red and yellow. Beautiful. Unbelievable. I didn't realize what it was at first until it climbed up onto a house. There was like an abandoned army house, because there used to be a missile base out there, and it was huge. That's all I can say. I'm used to like grasshoppers, you know. This was grasshopper. Gigantinormous. Big, beautiful blue iridescent dragonflies, kind of the color of this back here. Just gorgeous. So I'll try to get some pictures there, but I thought I would share some of the things that I picked up while I was there, because it's good to kind of see what's local and maybe what's in your region, but not necessarily local. Plus just a couple of cool things that I picked up while I was there. So the first thing that I wanted to share was this. This was Captain Ron's pet. When the pet expired, his friend cleaned the skull and painted it for him. But I love goats, and so my husband picked this up for me. It's got a little thingy here to hang it. I was going to hang it in my office, but I don't know if I'm going to now. But it's beautifully detailed with these little metal divots here, and I just really liked it. I liked the color. I liked the horns. I understand he was rather an ornery creature in life, poor little fellow, but he had a good passing. So I really thought that was cool. So that was the first thing that I picked up that I thought was really, really neat, because I've never had anything like this in my collection, and I thought that was pretty cool. All right. The next item that I picked up was something that I'm probably going to do my next herb cabinet series on. Well, I want to get to that in a minute. Actually, let me show you this first, because this is kind of messy. All right. This, folks, grows all over the cypress trees that are all around Caddo Lake. And it is something known as Spanish moss. It's not technically a moss, but we call it Spanish moss. And it's just draped all over the trees in huge abundance. When it blooms out in these purplish blue flowers that are absolutely gorgeous. And this was very special to me, because I grew up in Live Oak, Texas, which is just on the outskirts of San Antonio, and San Antonio has a lot of Spanish moss. And so when I saw the Spanish moss on the trees, I was like, oh, it was like, I've never cared much for San Antonio, but it is home, so I was like, I have to have some of that. So I'm trying to think of what I'm going to do with it. I may stuff a poppet with it. I may make a dream pillow with some of it. I don't know yet. I'm trying to decide. I mean, he brought me a generous piece, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Okay, now for the one that I want to do the video about. Oh, it's all over. It comes out in these like little bitty little pieces. It's all over the place. It's kind of messy. But the next item that he procured for me was this. And this grows in the area where I live, but I had not seen any. This is sumac. Now, this is not to be confused with poison sumac, which is something totally different. So I wanted to do a video on sumac, because sumac, actually, you can make tea out of this. These are little berries that grow on the sumac. It's like a bush. It's not really a tree, but it grows up kind of tall, and then the sumac sticks up the top like this. So you see these bright red flamey things, and I love sumac. So sumac makes a very soothing tea for the throat. It's just kind of cool. If you're a Boy Scout, you'll know it because it also has a really good smell. I just like the smell of sumac. It's kind of a woodsy smell, and I really like it. So I had it hanging up to dry it off. The berries come off rather easily. Oops. Yeah, they're super. Oops, well, I dropped it. They're super, 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 super tiny. But you just pop them off, and then you kind of crush them up, and you can make a tea out of them. And they're really good. So I will probably do a video for the herb cabinet series at my next opportunity about sumac in general. Now, the next two items that I got were really awesome. Things that I've been looking for quite some time. And what's funny is you may recognize the one on the front because I did do a video for the herb cabinet series on thistle. This is, I don't think it's technically called thistle, but it's a thistle. And what I love about this book is this covers all of the flowers that are native to Texas. And a lot of the flowers that are native to Texas cross over into Louisiana, parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and also into New Mexico, and sometimes even as far as Arizona. They have a lot of the same wildflowers that we have. And I had been looking for a book like this because this book has full color illustrations. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it tells you which ones are poisonous, what to avoid, what parts of the plants are poisonous, what it's called, its common name, the scientific name. It gives a lot of information, and she tells what you can use some of it for, but she gives an excellent technical description of each of the flowers, and so you can find a lot of the plants in here. I was trying to find one that I didn't even realize grew in Texas. The common dandelion, wonderful plant. We have these all over the place, and I don't let my husband cut them out because dandelions are one of the first foods for bees. Bees are very important to me because I use a lot of natural honey, and I dearly love them. I love their little hummy sound that they make when they're humming over my trees. And plus, the dandelion is one of those plants that you can eat the entire plant, even though the milk is a little tart. It's completely edible. But I like this because she breaks it down into flowers by color. So each section is a flower by color. So if you see a specific flower and you're like, gosh, I wonder what that was, and you weren't sure, oh, I think it's this, but you aren't sure, and you can remember the color, you break it up. So they've got like Skyrocket, which I was thinking might be related to Blue Rocket, which is monkshood, but I don't see that it is. So, as well as native plantings, it's also called Fire Pink and Red Gilia, 2 subspecies, but it's really cool because she gives a really good description of the flowers. Standing cypress, and again she breaks it down by color. So all the purple flowers, so if you see a flower and you're like, I wonder what that weird, white flower is, or what's that strange white bush, she will tell you. So she's got them all in here. I mean, it's pretty comprehensive. A little thick book. I picked this up at the Texas, at the Parks and Recreation, in the little gift shop that they have at Caddo Lake State Park. I picked this up there, and it was $20.71. Most of that goes directly to the park. In fact, I think all of it goes back directly to the park, and there's no tax. So it was a good bargain in my opinion. I've been looking for a book like this. It has a glossary of botanical terms, illustrated glossary of the plant structures, color-coded range map. Oh yeah, she gives a map. I forgot about that. A map showing you how far does this plant range across the state, or where would you typically find it. So a lot of great information here. Now, she doesn't give any like magical qualities to the plant. So in terms of like practicing the craft, I use it in my craft. It's awesome. That we were calling certain things are not called that. So that was interesting. Now, the other really awesome book that I picked up for $30 was this book here. Nice thick book. Okay. What's nice about this book is, look at the title, Edible and Useful Plants of the Southwest. And what's nice is this covers Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. And if you look down here on the bottom, it says, including recipes, teas, harmful plants, natural dyes, so magical inks, folks, textile fibers. So if you wanted to weave a basket for something or weave a doll out of something, she tells you how to do this in this book. So I was really excited by this book. Unfortunately, I've also been super busy since we got back from the trip, and I've gotten this far into the book, which, if you know me, normally when I sit down with a book, I would have been done with this entire book by now. But I want to take my time with it because I'm wanting to really absorb the information in this book. I might just read through it quickly just to be familiar with some of the names, make some notes because, hold on one second. I do have this wonderful journal. I believe I did a video on this a while back. This was a journal that was given to me. How does he do it? Every freaking time. I don't know how the man does it, but he does. Anyway, I was showing you all my journal that my daughter's best friend's mother gave me for my birthday. I use this journal as kind of a grimoire of herbs. What I was trying to do was I was writing down the name, the common name of the herb, then putting down the scientific names that it's known by, other common names that it's known by different regions. And then I left a little space here because my intention was to put a picture of the herb there because I can't draw, so I was just going to print them offline and glue them in there. But I'm really trying to take my time with this book and be careful with it. So I wanted to take my time with this one, but some of this information is definitely going to be going into this because, as you all know, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time at all, you know I'm real big on do your research, do your research, do your research. Get to know what's around you because technically you don't have to buy anything to do the craft. Nature provides whatever you need to have fully functioning witchcraft at your fingertips. So I like to know what's out there, and these two were a gold mine. I've been looking for books like this. I'd looked them up on Amazon and hadn't really seen anything that seemed to be what I was looking for. So I was like, booyah! One day I got this one, and then when we went back, my husband was like, go ahead and get the other book that you wanted. And I was like, you don't have to tell me twice. Books. So, these were really good finds, and if you can get them, I don't know if they're available through Amazon or not. Oh, yeah, here's the map. Let me show you. Ta-da! So she's got it broken down by region. So down here is a key. We can't really see it. But down here is a key, and that key tells you what the regions are. So when you look up a certain plant, it tells you what regions you find it in. So, like, here's the Spanish moss that I was just showing you guys. This is what it looks like up close. See these little flowers? They turn kind of purpley. I'm surprised to see them green here. But let's see. It blooms from February to June. It's a hanging silvery gray. Epiphytic stands to 12 feet or more. Stems are curled, wiry, forming dense masses. Then it talks about the flower. It talks about the leaves. It talks about habitat areas of high humidity. Yeah, that's pretty much the entire state of Texas. Common name of this plant is very misleading, for it is neither Spanish nor a moss, but belonging to the pineapple family. Okay, so that's where this information comes in. So you're like, okay, pineapple. So what are the magical qualities of pineapple? It is a close relative of the cultivated pineapple, as well as the ornamental nursery and floral bromeliads. Spanish moss is used by various species of wildlife, mostly as a hiding or resting place, but it is also much used by birds for nesting material. So anyway, it talks about that. It says in Louisiana, tea is prepared from the strands and drunk for diabetes. Ta-da! So Spanish moss does grow in Louisiana, and now I know that I can help whom I suspect is diabetic husband with some tea that hopefully he'll drink. So anyway, these were just some really cool things that I picked up while I was in Caddo. And again, I don't know if these are available on Amazon or if you can get them, if you have to order them from the Parks and Recreation Department. But I'm sure that if you have a state park anywhere near you, check out the resources you have, especially, now I'm going to be on the lookout. So anytime we go to a state park out of state, I'm going to be picking up some books because I know that in a couple of weeks, my daughter, for those of you that don't know, my youngest daughter graduated high school this year. Final baby is done. I feel old. Hopefully you can't see the gray that I've noticed is sprouting up here. Oh, God. But she wanted to take a trip. She has a friend who's in a band on the East Coast. Can't think of the name of the band off the top of my head, but woe is me or something weird like that. I don't know. Hang on, I can tell you. just for grins, I'll give them a plug here. The Worst of Us. The band is called The Worst of Us. And she's got a friend who's in the band. This is the band. Ta-da! The one who's wearing the Black Craft shirt, that's her friend. So, dun, 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 dun. But they're playing in North Carolina the first full weekend of August. My husband's birthday is August 1st, and he is turning. So, we are going to go celebrate her graduation and his birthday together that weekend. Our oldest daughter's birthday is the weekend prior, kind of right before my husband's. So we're going to celebrate her birthday with his at that time, and then we're going to take the trip, which will be part of his birthday and a celebration of my youngest daughter's graduation. But we're going to North Carolina, and so we're going to be in the Smoky Mountains. Yay! I'm so excited. I've never seen the Smoky Mountains. We're coming back through Chattanooga. I've never been to Tennessee. I'm super excited because I've never been to either one of these two places. So I've never been to Tennessee. I've never been to Georgia. I've never been to Mississippi. I have been to Missouri now, but I've never been to North Carolina. I've never been anywhere on that side of the country except for Florida, and we flew in and out of Florida, so I never got to see any of the country. So now when I go to the Smoky Mountains, I'm going to find me the state park office, and I'm going to be looking at what they have to offer in their book section on things like this. These are the kind of books I'm going to be looking for. Super stoked. If I find them, I'll let you know, and I'll take a moment to ask if the books are available, or you can just look up the titles. So this is Wildflowers of Texas by Gayata Agil. I won't even try to pronounce her last name. I'm just going to let y'all take a look. Good luck with that one. But Gayata has that one. And then this one is by Delana Toll. Delana Toll, Edible and Useful Plants of the Southwest. Includes Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. And I'm sure some of these probably also cross over into Louisiana. Because we're so close. So some of those East Coast plants, East Side plants, probably go into Louisiana. So anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. I was excited to share these finds with you. I encourage feedback. If you've gotten anything cool that you'd like to share, we'd like to hear about it. So thank you so much, and blessed be.